Now, Donald Trump has taken a very different approach to the situation. What I think, Donald Trump sees the tension and he sees an opportunity. They are a world leader in the production and the manufacturing of semiconductor chips. We are no different than an insurance company. They can afford to pay more because they are immensely wealthy. These are some of the recent comments that Donald Trump has made about Taiwan. Now, Taiwan is a tiny, small island nation, but it is very important to the rest of the world. And Taiwan faces constant pressure from China. So why did Donald Trump make his comments? What context is there behind it? And also, what was Taiwan's response to the comments? So we're going to discuss that in the video today. And before we get started, let me just say that if you like content like this, leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this and hit that thumbs up button for me. Taiwan is a nation of 23 million people. This is a small island nation, but they are very, very important to the rest of the world. And the reason being because they are a world leader in the production and the manufacturing of semiconductor chips. They dominate that market. They are the market when it comes to chip making and semiconductor chips. Now other countries have recently gotten involved as well or stepped up. Germany, the United States, they've started to make factories and they want to get more involved in this because, having just one particular place in the world makes so much of the world's production of these chips. People are starting to realize that might not be such a good idea, especially a nation that faces constant threats from China. Now, China views Taiwan as basically a part of itself. It feels like Taiwan is theirs to take right now. Taiwan has their own president, their own democracy, but the way that China feels, whenever they want to, they can step in and take it back. And even right now, it is still theirs. They're just allowing it to do its own thing. So we think about the idea of a war. If a war was to break out, so if China was to come in and try to invade, if we're talking about bombs going off and destruction, if these factories where these chips are made were to be destroyed, you're talking about catastrophic just failure for the whole world. Everything from the car in your chip to phones and laptops and just literally I can make an hour-long video saying how many different things that chips are important for. It's being made there on a mass global scale. They are the leader in that area. So if China was to invade and it would disrupt this, just, let your mind wander how bad this could be for the rest of the world. Now, the United States has been supplying Taiwan with weapons and defense systems for a long time now. Now, it's interesting to note that the United States does not have a defense treaty or a treaty with Taiwan in the event that they would be invaded. For example, we have one with Japan and other countries. If they were to be invaded or if they were to go to war, we would automatically step in and become a part of it. NATO and things of that nature. We do not have something like that going on with Taiwan. Now, we do regularly give them weapons and defense and all these different things. And Taiwan obviously understands the importance of this. They know the risk that China poses. And China has recently stepped up a lot of this stuff. Military drills, you think about a year or two back, they were doing military drills basically simulating what it would be like if they were to take over. And the United States kind of walks a very fine line here. While they supply these defense weapons and things to Taiwan on a scale of millions and billions of dollars, like huge amounts of weapons that get supplied to them. They also walk a fine line not trying to anger China. The one China policy and all of this stuff, the United States, for the most part, has not sent ambassadors and talked on a global scale about Taiwan being its own country, even though we kind of treat it like its own country. We also don't want to call it its own country to not try to anger China. So, a very fine, delicate line that's being walked. Now, there have been some politicians that have recently visited Taiwan and and this is all just political stuff, people trying to get their name in the media and things of that nature. But for the most part, the United States walks a very fine line when it comes to Taiwan. Now, Donald Trump has taken a very different approach to the situation. What I think, Donald Trump sees the tension and he sees an opportunity for there to be money made for the United States. And basically what he says, you guys are going to have to pay for your own defense. You are gonna have to, and he's done this with other countries as well, different treaties and things that we've been a part of that the United States has basically just run while other countries just kind of feed off of the table, or at least that's the way that he looked at it. He's basically letting them know, as he has hey, you guys are gonna have to step up as well. The United States is not just gonna do stuff for you. If you want a better defense system, you're going to have to pay for a better defense system. We will ship you the weapons. And for the most part, they have modernized their defense system tremendously. They spend about 2.5% of GDP, their GDP, on their defense system, which this was the past year or the year before, I believe, which was a record high for them. And they are increasingly spending more and more to modernize their defense system. In the event that something was to happen with China, Donald Trump sees this as a business opportunity. Now, sometimes the way that he says stuff in the media might come off like, what did he say about and things like that. But in all honesty, he's still going to supply the weapons. He's letting them know that, they will get what they need. But at the end of the day, it is up to them to defend themselves because, there is no treaty. If they were to go to war, the United States is not obligated. If the United States did get involved, it's bad for the United. Now, obviously, you don't want a war at all. You do not want China to go in and try to take it over, and you don't want any type of bloodshed or any of that type of stuff. You really hope to avoid those type of things, but also understanding that there is a real threat of something like that happening. In this situation, Donald Trump taking a different stance than most presidents, and he's been tough on China too. He has been, very tough on China, and basically he doesn't want China to walk over the United States, and he wants them to know that they're not going to bully us, they're not going to win every business deal with us, that he wants trade and things to be fair with them as well. But also with Taiwan in this situation, letting them know that, hey, we'll continue to send you weapons and defense systems. You're gonna pay for it, but at the end of the day, just know that if it comes down to defending yourself, that is on you. Now, if China was to one day attack Taiwan, it would be very bad. And depending on what gets destroyed and what happens, it could be absolutely catastrophic for the entire world. And the question arises, how would the rest of the world react? We think about when Russia invaded Ukraine and how the world reacted. Nobody really got involved as other nations, but they did send money and other things. Some people even send money and missiles around to Russia. And how would the rest of the world react? In all honesty, I don't think that nobody really wants to go to war with China. I don't think that people would want to get directly involved. Kind of similar to a Ukraine situation. And in all honesty, I do not think that Taiwan can really defend itself either. Ukraine has, and it was kind of shocking when Ukraine was able to stop Russia from marching into the capital and taking over. I don't know if the same thing can happen in Taiwan. I think that China is just too strong, too militarily advanced, that if they wanted to invade, that they would do so very quickly. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not a military expert or anything, and hopefully nothing like this ever happens and we just keep the peace, but we gotta understand that there is a real risk of this happening. If you like content like this, leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this and hit that thumbs up button for me.